hey guys, what's going on? It's Stef here. I hope you've been well. I know I have, and it's time for another metal detecting, treasure hunting adventure. This week's video is so exciting to me because I managed to find yet another virgin 300-year-old site deep in the middle of the woods of New England. I truly can't believe this place was untouched, but then again, looking at it, it really didn't look like a home site. I kind of got lucky and decided, that looks like a pile of junk. I'll bet you there's a home site in there because it's so unswingable. Yep. So this is the story of that day, along with some hiking around to a different site and circling back to this one because I just couldn't stay away and I needed to satisfy my curiosity. So you are in for a real treat this week. I hope you enjoy it. And without giving you any spoilers, let's hop in. I don't believe it. I think I may have found another untouched early settler site. Don't worry, that's my touch. I actually found a piece of like cut kettle brass, probably 1700s, I'm not sure. But just this tiny little depression gave me a clue. I started swinging around and it's a bed of iron, which is awesome. Unfortunately, we're contending with all of these briars, but that's just the way it is out here. And I was on my way to another site, but I think we're actually going to explore here today, which is cool because this was only about a quarter mile into the woods. Anyway, I want to show you the first desirable I got and what made me turn on the camera and give you that introduction that I think I found a new site. We have a 1700s button right here. This is a tomback button. Still some shininess to it. It's like a white bronze material, for lack of a better description. And let's see, do we have a shank? We do not have a shank. This one probably falls in like the mid 1700s because you can see these lathe marks here. And that's generally indicative of an earlier tomback button versus the ones that have kind of a blob post on it. So this area has been nothing short of incredible in terms of just tripping over home sites that, well, I didn't know were here. So we're going to take a little while to explore, and hopefully we'll be back soon with something exciting. All right, this site is turning out to be a bit slower than I thought it would be. Oh, you spoke way too soon. More on that later. I've dug a few iffy signals and, bent nails and other crap. But I do have a good signal here. We'll take a look together. And if that's something good and old, I will stick around for maybe another half hour or so. But if it's not, I think I'm going to move on to a more productive site. We shall see. Looks like we just got button number 2 for the day. Not very deep, but it was shoved up right underneath this rock here. I just swept it out. And I think it's going to be more of the same. Tomback material. So again, 1700s all day. This one's a nice thick one. I guess that's why it was ringing up so high. No shank on that. I almost wonder if it's like a lead pewter. Nah. No, that's tomback. For sure. But, yeah. All right, so a couple things here and there, but again, not super duper productive out here, and I am itching to get back to a site that's about a mile away, so I think that might be what I do now. I'll circle the cellar, once or twice more. I'm going to actually do something I never do and cherry pick for a high tone, because that'll let me know if this place has been, detected heavily in the past or not. So far, it's looking like it may have been. So, anywho, all right, I'll be back one way or another, and I'll let you know where I am, whether it's here or at one of my honey holes. Well, that other cellar left a little bit to be desired, so I'm back at one of my productive spots, the spot I had planned to go to today in the first place, and here's the first target. Kind of sounds like a button, but I've been wrong a few times in my life. Let's see. Sure enough, it was only a few inches down, but so many rocks in the way. And it looks like we might have a pewter button here. I think that's the shank side, and it's just broken off. Maybe a design on the front for once? Maybe, I don't think so, but it's just crumbling apart in my hands. Unfortunately, when pewter's been in the ground for a few hundred years, it does not hold up well at all. So, hey, good first target back at one of my favorite sites ever, and we will keep on moving and look for all of the awesome things that I would love to find today. Didn't film this target because it was actually tracing very, very low on the screen right here, mixed with iron, so I thought it might be a large piece of iron, but I was wrong. We have a very large musket ball. That's got to be a 69 caliber. I don't find them this size too often. Definitely unfired. See if we can see the casting sprue. Maybe, maybe not. But that's a great find. Again, I don't find big musket balls like this too often. So, nice early piece. We'll keep moving. Pretty loud, substantial sounding low tone right here. Let's check it out. I just love this spot because anytime you dig a target, it's either 250 years old or ammunition. And upon first glance, this one looks like something well over 200 years old. So we'll take a look. Kind of startled me for a second. It has like a goldish color to it. But I think, oh wow, it's a dandy button. Is it? Yeah, dandy sized. Wow. That ring up low. Yeah, you know what? It does look like it's made out of a tombac material. And sometimes these do actually have a yellowish hue to them. Very, very interesting. And let's see if we have a pattern. Since it is such a fancy looking button. Probably just corrosion. Well, maybe not. Maybe not. You know what? If there's something on that, I'll come back. Otherwise, we'll keep moving. But, oh, I just love this site. Can't say it enough. All right, this is a pretty interesting signal. Again, anything out here is over 200 years old, or it's ammunition. This would trigger me as thinking ammunition, right? Looks shallow. But I can raise my coil all the way up to here and I still hear it. So I think we might have a very large piece of brass. I'm not going to throw out any guesses. I am perplexed. It's not rigging up high enough for a shoe buckle, I don't think, but I've been surprised before. Let's see. I'm just filming this for the sake of eating my words. It was a very shallow harmonica reed. That's at least 19th, if not early 20th century. That is really funny. I've been saying it all day. Oh, everything's 200 years old or ammunition. But this is what we call cross-century contamination. It's actually in pretty good condition. Nice heavy brass, and it makes sense as to why it rang up that high, or excuse me, that loud. Because it was pretty shallow. I mean, like 2 inches in the ground. But yeah, all right, well, hey. It's not colonial, but I will absolutely take it. All right, another nice punchy signal here, mid-tone. Let's go wake it from its 250-year slumber, shall we? Looks like we're going to have another button here. Small and round. And no sun. No sun. And it looks like we've got some gilding on it. Yeah, we do. Look at that. It's always amazing to me that any of the gilding from 250 years ago stays intact. I wonder, is there a design on there? Huh. There might actually be. Do have a full shank on the back. Nice, nice. Completely intact. It really looks like there's something on there. I'm going to brush it off and come back. I guess I was wrong. I'm not really seeing a pattern anymore. I thought there was at least some kind of edge pattern here, but I think that's just where the plating is worn off. No back mark that I can see, so I would think that that's an 18th century button. Awesome. That's what we're here for. And, you know, coins and buckles and amazing bucket listers and all those wonderful things I'm going to find today. Can you tell I'm actually in a really optimistic mood? Just so happy to be back here. All right, let's keep moving. Okay, we've got kind of a low, mid-ish tone right here. Let's get in there. Wow. Well, it appears we have another pewter button, but this one has the shank intact, which is so rarely the case. Look at that big fat thing. That's so cool. Oh, this poor baby is flaking in my hands, just flaking away. See if there's anything on the front. Ooh, look at that. Oh, that's what I'm talking about. That's beautiful. That is absolutely gorgeous. I cannot believe it has the shank too. Oh man, I can't even putz around with this on camera for too long. I'm gonna have to put this away now. I'm gonna pack it in some dirt and then put it away safely in my bag, and hopefully once I get home I can preserve that. That is such a gorgeous pattern. I can't believe that survived for almost 300 years. That is amazing. Now, at this point, I just cannot stop burning with curiosity about the first sight of the day, and I figured I really didn't give it enough of a shot. So I'm gonna go back and see what I can find, maybe in a different part of the property, and, well, this is what happened. Definitely one of the better signals I've heard today. We'll take a look. Hope for the best. I think I've got a day maker. I saw one side of it. I can't see what it is, but one side is a beautiful emerald green. And it was down there. It was at least like 9-10 inches. I just got it up. It's right there. Seriously, don't know what this is. Except that it's a nice big fat coin. I'm gonna savor that for a moment. And what do we got? It looks like we have a colonial coin. You can see Britannia or the reverse of a Connecticut. I can't see which it is yet. Is this a King George I? I found one yesterday, if that's the case. It might actually be. No one's gonna believe me. I found one yesterday. King George I, 1717 to 1724. That is just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. For sake of comparison, I probably have 100 or more King George II copper coins. And King George I, really, I can't get over how often I find these, and just in comparison to others, because for some reason I do tend to trip over these a lot more often than the next person. This is my 8th King George I halfpenny. I've got 9 Woods Hibernias, which is ridiculous. It's the Irish halfpenny with King George I on the front. And yeah, I just, you know what? I don't know. I'm just gonna love it and take it and let it dry out and see what this looks like. I cannot believe I just got that back to back. That's ridiculous. It's absolutely absurd. Ask anybody who digs in New England how often they dig a King George I, and they will tell you not often at all. Oh my goodness. And just for sake of interest, I'm actually back at the first site where we started today. I didn't think I gave it a proper shot, and I was like, you know what? I want a change of scenery. I'm glad I came back here. All right, I'll be back in a minute once this dries up just a bit. It's amazing. Well, guys, I don't know what it is with me and King George I, but we have a thing going on, I guess. And I got a really, really cool surprise when I flipped it over and started just kind of field cleaning the back. I'm not going to do, I don't think, any more to this coin because it's very thin, believe it or not. There's not a lot of relief on it, is what I mean to say. But it's a first year, it's a 1717, and this is called a dump issue halfpenny, which I can't remember what the meaning is. I think it has like a lousier copper content, but I cannot remember, so I'll do the research before I put this video up. But that is an absolutely remarkable find. I mean, most of the ones that you find in America are 1723 and 1724, the last 2 years. But wow, that actually looks really nice. All I did was apply a little bit of body oil to it after I brushed the dirt off. And that's how he's going to stay. That, it's absolutely absurd. Absurd. I love it. I'm going to keep swinging for a while longer. If I don't find anything else, we'll just say goodbye for the day. But if I do, well, you'll be the first to know. Well, I didn't film this signal, and I probably should have, but it was ringing up a 20, which is typically a 22 bullet. And I just got this out here, gave it a quick fondle. Didn't play with it too much, though. And I think, based on the curvature, well, you know, I can't tell if this is broken. Let me show you the other side here. Very decorative. So it kind of looks like part of a colonial shoe or knee buckle, I would think. But it really, I don't see exactly where it's been broken. Huh. Let me give that a brush. I'll be right back. Wow. The design is a lot cooler than I thought. It looks like there's a Tudor rose in the center, which is a British emblem, historically, from the House of Tudor. And the British continued to use that symbol on their military accoutrements and a bunch of other things, up until modern day, actually. I have to assume it's some kind of buckle piece because of the curvature, but again, I don't know. I mean, and if it has been broken, it was so long ago that it's corroded enough where I'm not going to be able to tell. So, really awesome piece, whatever it might be, potentially, and most likely, actually, part of a colonial buckle. But, wow, what a beautiful piece. Nice little signal right here. Let's get it out of the ground. I literally picked this thing up and I said, "Oh, you're so cute." I'm gonna sound like a lunatic if anyone could ever hear me out here. I thought it was a bullet at first, but we have a tiny, tiny, tiny thimble. Wow. Definitely one of the smallest ones I've ever dug. That's awesome. I love finding new sites, especially in just such unexpected ways like this. That's cool. Let me give it a brush down. I'll come right back. And there we go. Teeny tiny little colonial era thimble. I love that. I always wonder, with ones this absolutely tiny, would that have been for a child? Although I have pretty big hands, and I guess I can see how this would... It'd be easier to have 3 hands right now, right? I can see how a much daintier lady's finger could fit in there. I'm assuming most people wear it on their pinky. But you know what? I don't remember the last time I used one of these myself. So, wow. I think it's been since home ec class when I was in like 7th grade. That is so cool. I love it. I love it, and I love this site. I'm going to be getting out of here soon, probably, and just kind of save some more exploration for a nicer day. It's looking like clouds are rolling in, like we're going to get some rain, so try to avoid that, but kick around just for a few more minutes, and we'll see what happens. You know what? Maybe we'll leave on a high tone. How's that? A little jumpy, but it's very deep, so. Oh man, what a day. What a day. Listen, I don't know what I do to deserve days like this, but I'm so happy they exist. I've got more coinage. It was straight up and down just like that. I have not even pulled it out of the ground till right now. What have we got here? This is something different. Huh. Right off the rip, I don't recognize it. Probably just have it all sorts of upside down. Interesting. What on earth? What is this? Oh, I think it's a KG2. I think. Yep. It looks like an early head KG2. You can see the Roman numeral 2 right there, and then REX for Rex. And I've just looked at so many of these over the years that I can see through all of that muck. Oh man, that's awesome. All right, let me let that dry out, give it a brush down, and I'll be back. Again, what a day. And there we go, King George II in absolutely immaculate condition. I was actually able to get this wet to remove the dirt because I know that this particular year, 1739, seems to hold up beautifully in the ground. I've got a few of these and they're all stunners. I mean, just such a nice prominent date there. Everything is there. That's an absolutely gorgeous coin. I mean, maybe you can't see that right now because there's still some verdigris on there, but I'm very confident that this will clean up absolutely beautifully. And it's really tough for me to call it a day. It's 5 o'clock now. I don't really like hiking out of the woods too much later than that, at least at this time of year. But, wow, I might have to make an exception and swing my way out at the very least. But again, I'll say it, if this is my day ender, that is fine with me. Maybe that'll bring me some more luck because the last time I said that, this happened, so. Oh, you gotta love it. Early colonial at its best. All right, guys, that's going to wrap it up for this week. I really hope you've enjoyed it. What an awesomely unexpected day finding a brand new site to me in the woods that has basically been untouched or just plain never discovered at all. And I'm kind of leaning toward the latter. It's been an awesome site so far because, spoiler, you know I went back. I've been back twice since then. So yeah, more videos in the pipeline from this site coming right up. And if you want to make sure that you're here to watch those and you haven't already done so, please consider hitting that subscribe button and the notification bell so that you don't miss uploads from me in the future. It means so much to me when you subscribe because it helps this channel thrive, grow, and of course it encourages me to keep making these videos for you. But with that, I'm going to get out of here, guys. Happy hunting, and we'll see you next time.